What is up, everybody? It's your boy Brennan, aka Drip, back with another video. And in today's video, I have another highly sought after video, the combo tutorial slash test hand slash discussion on the branded Buster Blader deck that I recently made that I personally feel is the best version of the deck. It's completely gross if it goes like unanswered. This version and my adventure version, I think, are the two best, and they're my two favorite. I swear by both of them. Also, and one thing I want to say outside the fact of like, comment, subscribe, and check the description for all the ways to support me. When it comes to this deck alone, I've seen a couple of people who have asked me like questions and stuff about it, referring to like, what if they stop our Buster Blader engine, or if we can't get to our Buster Blader engine, then what? Or does it brick? Yada yada yada. Well, I want to answer those questions. One, every deck can brick. Every deck can brick. Two, like I mentioned before in my previous branded videos, pure branded Despia, which is what we see as the norm nowadays, is literally just the base part of the deck and what the deck's function is. So you take that and you build off of that, which is what I did with this version and other versions that I've made, like the Shadal version or stuff like that. You take that and you build off of it to where, and you play around with the ratios and all that, to where if you can't get into one engine, you just revert back to the other side and just go back to your bread and butter and what you know. That's why I said before, the base part of the deck is just what we see now as the norm. And adding this other engine is not really making it brickier. It's giving it, and it's taking its base and its ceiling and raising it. So you have to look at it from that standpoint. Yes, not every time you're going to get into your Buster Blader engine. Then if you don't, you just revert back to what you know, which is standard combo. But they feed off of one another when you do get both of them going, and they promote a lot of crap. But with that being said, let's go ahead and get into this video. Uh, this deck is, there's not much I really need to say about it. It's really gross. I think Buster Blader really found its home with this deck. For years, the Buster Blader engine, like the negations and all that stuff, and the extra deck lock and stuff, is like always needed a secondary counterpart, and the deck is always kind of small. I mean, like what I mean by that is like the engine that you run is always small, so that's why it's just always been able to fit in like almost anything. So I think it's really found its home with this deck. At least for me, it has. Now let's go ahead and start it out. Ad-lib, lost, patchwork, 4, and branded opening. This hand is actually freaking cracked. This hand is ridiculous. So first, you can start out with, you can just bait for Ash if you want and go patchwork. Most of the time they'll just let that resolve anyways, because now at this point they think you're playing just branded. They're worried about the branded fusion basically. So you get the poly, and you get the edge up chain. Did I skip over another edge up chain, or I forgot to put one in here? Sorry, because I have been messing with my decks. It's right there. No, we're good. All right. So we got the poly, and we got the edge up chain. Now, what you do is you normal summon the Buster Whelp, and use its effect. Let's say they have no interruptions, yada yada yada. If they did, it's fine. We still have the rest of our combo, which is the bread and butter, like I said before. You just revert back to what you know, which is all this here. Go and get the prologue. Main card that makes this deck go around. Now you just revert back to what you know. You can go branded opening. This is what I would do. I would go branded opening, pitching edge imp chain to special your Aliber. Now you can chain block, Aliber chain link 1, edge imp chain link 2, edge imp chain to add the patchwork, Aliber to add the branded fusion. I'll put the hand in the frame here in a second so you can see what all we got to refresh your memory. I'll push the field up a little bit. Let me zoom out a little bit. There we go. So right now, this is our hand. Very busted, very nice and juicy. Now, what I would do personally is this is where I would go to activate the branded lost. Now, I would use the polymerization to fuse off these two. So now we have a dragon engrave for the prologue to make the masquerade. Now, if they activate anything, they're going to burn. So you activate the branded fusion. And then now you just do your standard stuff. The only difference here, myself personally, is instead of doing the standard part, which is Sin Tragedy, add all that, for a couple of reasons. One, you don't need to do that now because we actually hard drew the ad libitum. And even if I didn't have the ad libitum, I still wouldn't do that. I would sacrifice a little on recursion and add more of a lockout. So in this case, we use Brand of Fusion. We're still going Lebellion, but instead of sending Tragedy, we are going to send no other than the Destruction Sword and Albaz, because this is how we Scythe Log. I'm not Scythe Log, basically Scythe Log, but forever Destruction Sword. Send those two. Make Lebellion. Lebellion effect. Send the ad libitum to shuffle the Albaz back. Try to keep it in frame. I apologize. Let me lift this up a little bit so you can see. There, that should be a little bit better for you. Sorry, guys. Shuffle that back. Shuffle the Lebellion back. And this is where it comes to fruition. Make the Mirror Jade. This is supposed to be engraved. Ignore that. Set the prologue. Now, before you phase, Mirror Jade's effect, targeting itself. Dump the Albion. Okay. Now you go to end phase. Well, first you can use Brand of Loss effect. Sorry. I'm so sorry. I got too far ahead of myself. When you summon the Lebellion, you chain to add this. I'm so sorry. Got ahead of myself. In phase, I'm gonna flip these face up so we can all see them. In phase, Albion effect. Set the brand in red. Okay. So now what we're going to do, a couple things. One, we're going to pass turn. They're going to draw for turn. You're going to ask them during their standby phase or whatever, or you can just wait for them to summon a monster, whatever you want to do, whatever you feel, however you feel like you want to do it. Say they summon a monster, let them summon a monster, then you activate prologue. Prologue effect. Dump the Destruction Sword and the Buster Blader, basically, to the graveyard. In the same chain, the Buster Destruction Sword will activate its effect, banishing itself a Buster Blader and a Dragon. And in this case, you have the Buster Whelp in the graveyard. If you didn't have the Buster Whelp, you would just banish this. So we just banish the Whelp to the Buster Whelp. I mean, the Destruction Sword will summon the Buster Blader Fusion, and then Prologue will summon the Buster Dragon. Then, since you summoned a fusion monster, you can use Lost's effect to search. You have two options here. Once you use Brandon Red to bring back, you could either special the Albaz during the end phase, or you can search it and normal summon it during next turn. Whatever you see fit, however you see fit. If you didn't want to send the Ash Dragon or whatever, basically. So what I would do is probably go ahead and search it so I can add a brand of fusion guaranteed during the end phase. Because you have to think of that. If you send Ash Dragon, you don't get access to your fusion engine again. So in this case, we could send another Albion. All right. So now their stuff's negated. When you activate a brand of loss, you can chain Buster Dragon's effect. I forgot to mention that. Sorry. Targeting the Buster Blader Fusion to equip the Buster Destruction Sword to your monster. Which, by the way, if the turn priority player does not have nothing, you can do all of this in the standby phase if you wanted to. But I would rather have them summon a card so they at least have one dragon on the field. So that is your field, and this is your hand. So you have the normal summons suck up their entire board. You have a negate, monster negate. Then you have Search Poly, basically Chimera. They activate anything. They're burning for 500. They're locked out of their extra deck. This could banish something. Well, you go Chimera, search, yada, 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 and then bring it back. It gets really, really nasty. So let's say they set like back row or something, and they pass just to get rid of the back row during the end phase. I would use Branded in red personally, and add the ad libitum, and then banish that and that. These three. Summon the Chimera. Chimera cannot be negated by impermanence because there's a polymerization engraved. Chain link. I would chain block all of them, probably. Chain link 1, and then chain link 2 at ad lib. Get the graveyard out of the way. Ad lib is special. One moment. Let me see something. One moment. Wait a minute. I would have actually banished the Courier. Sorry. I was waiting. I was like, why was I worrying about a chain link 3? Banish the Courier. Banish the Courier, and then McCourier does the last chain link. Probably I would just search the Albion. Okay. Okay, cut before we draw. So we draw 2, pop 1. Or golden pony boy. Okay. So this is basically after you and you pop 1. Basically during their end phase, this is your board. Mirror Jade's live. This popped 1, drew 2. You have follow up. Their stuff's negated, and on your follow up, you have all this. Plus you draw for turn. What we draw? Give me something good. Poly. Not that good, but we'll take it. It don't matter. You just win anyways. So basically, for an example, let's just play it out. I mean, they would probably have already scooped. Draw two. Yup. Yup. There you go. You can search another one and do it all over again. Banish this. We'll banish that. Now you can just say they have one monster. You just normal summon. Don't even use the effect. Absorb it. And then go and make the card that this whole deck is based around. Alvalinitus. And that's basically it for combo number one. It's very, if you get both engines, it's fairly consistent. Let's go ahead and get into combo number two, guys. All right, here we are for combo number two. One thing to note is, like, yes, we are running something different. You can't be afraid to run something different because that's what makes this game of Yu-Gi-Oh so like beautiful. Is you can make something your own, and you don't need to be afraid to use your own creativity to make your own deck. So like, or try something different. That's why I made this, just to try something different because I didn't see anybody else doing it at the time. Some cards are upside down. And just because it's not standard doesn't mean it's not good, basically. So give this deck a try, man. Give this deck a try. I really think card for card, this deck is perfect. I would not swap out. I know one thing a lot of people talk about is swapping out Eldritch for Snow. I personally don't like Snow. I have beat people more that use Snow than I have losing to Snow, if that makes sense. I have won more matches against Snow than I have lost against Snow. I think it's average at best, my personal opinion. Let's try this again. See what we get. Allure, busted. Edge and chain. Allure target. Disgusting. Disgusting. Right here, I'd use foolish. I would send tragedy. Go ahead and proc that. Tragedy effect. I would search ad libitum. Okay, goes to cut, 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 triple cut. Alright. Now I would use a lure. Draw two. Okay. Now I gotta think on what to banish. I'd probably banish the Albaz. Now, since you have two options, you can go Buster Blader combo, or you can go standard Albaz. Albaz standard combo will get you set up further. The only reason like it's tough right here is because you didn't draw into the Patchwork engine besides Edge and Chain, and you didn't draw into Branded Fusion. So if like we saw uh, um, Fright for Patchwork or Poly or Branded Fusion, we would be sitting a lot better than we are right now to be able to go full combo. But I'm not comfortable enough to normal summon Buster Whelp as I am normal summon Aliber right now. Granted, they're both as fragile, but Aliber will get you farther, my personal opinion. So this is where we just go standard combo. Go Branded Fusion, get Branded Fusion. And but like I said before, you're not going to get both engines all the time. It's just consistent to see it because all the draw power and the other ways to get into the Despia engine. But we go this. We already used tragedy, so we'll send a dark. At this point, they would probably already know what we're playing. So we'll get rid of the sword. And the sword and the Albaz. Make, I guess I didn't have it on that stack. Lebellion. The Lebellion effect. Pitch chain. Shuffle that back and the Fallen of Albaz back to make the one and only Near Jade Patchwork's effect to search the Fright for Patchwork. Activate the Fright for Patchwork. Go and get the Poly and another copy of Edge and Chain. We love plus and 2, baby. You love it. Okay. Now it's just bread and butter, obviously. Just bread and butter. Can't believe it's not butter. Graveyard. Now what I would do, I would use his effect. This is kind of a little bit of a big brain thinking right here. Send this, banish himself. Okay. Banish himself. Now I personally would use the Poly to send these two off to make the Masquerade. Now, Adlib's effect, Engrave. We'll summon back the Mirror Jade. Okay. Now, Poly Engrave in phase. Albion to set the branded in red. Now, what we can do is pass turn, obviously, and then now we just have standard combo. Activate the brand. Use a card, banish a card. Dump another Albion, banish, then branded in red. Add back the ad libitum. So this is where you resolve Mirror Jade twice in their turn. Just because we drew the ad libitum for turn. Basically, that's why I said it's a big brain thought. Because since we had this in hand, we had Poly, we just use his effect first, get access to Brandon Red during the end phase, so it's almost as if we hard drew the Brandon Red. Then we use the ad lib with Poly to make Masquerade to bring the Mirror Jade back, and now we can resolve Mirror Jade twice on their turn, which we did once, banished one card. Now we're using that to add this back to hand, banishing these three to make the Chimera up here. Chimera effect Chainlink 1, Adlib Chainlink 2, targeting the Mirror Jade special. And then get a shuffle, because I don't think we got a shuffle. We pop one, draw two. Draw, that's not good. Draw. So now that we drew both of the Buster Blader cards, it's kind of dead. We can't really lock them. Now, if we had a way to shuffle them back, that'd be different. No, that is not a reason to run three. Do not do it. We basically have game on board anyways. Effect. The second time in their turn, at this point, just send the Lenitus to get an extra spell or whatever. because you know you're not going to be able to lock them, but you still got game next turn anyways because they've been activating cards. They'll proceed to end phase. Albion will set, or I would just set the Branded Lost, and then Lenitus will add the Branded Fusion, and then we just win from here on out. Pass turn back to us. Draw for turn. What do we got? Don't matter. Activate Lost. Switch to attack. Switch to attack. Branded Fusion. If we can, do we even have targets? Yeah, we do. Yeah, we do. We're going for Titaniclad. This is where we just push for game. Another reason why I say run Golden Lord, because of 2,500 or more attack. So you can hard make Titaniclad if necessary. Hard make Titaniclad. Effect. Go and add the Shrouded Dragon. Shroud Dragon effect. Pitch the Branded Opening from hand. 2 special summon from hand. And then GG's. But that's basically it for combo number 2 / test end number 2 and resolving through their turn. Let's go ahead and get into combo number 3, guys. New combo, new me, boys. All right, let's go. Give me something good. Golden Lord. Prologue. Polly. Patch. Alright. You love to see it. Now, what you see with that last combo, Golden Lord actually, we could have pulled him back and pushed for some serious damage. Even more damage, but, like, he's just so free in this and versatile and helps, like, so much. Because even after you resolve this once or twice, if you didn't already win for some odd reason, you just use Outlish to just send them free. So it makes your spells and traps not, like, bricky. So basically here, all you need to do is just standard freaking combo. Standard Despia combo, because all you gotta do is set the prologue and you have the rest. That's all you need. So right here, I'll go Patchwork, Poly, Edge and Chain. Graveyard. Branded Opening. I would send a Poly. Summon the Albert. Albert effect. Add the Branded Fusion. Alright. Now, what I would do is going first, I would Poly. Send these two to deck thin some more. I would like that. Edge and Chains effect. Get the Patchwork. Patchwork. Now Branded Fusion. Now instead of sending the Tragedy, as always, I would rather Buster Lock them than have that much of a follow-up, because you're going to get your follow-up anyways through Mirror Jade. So you send that. And the Albaz. What am I doing? And the Albaz. To make your Rebellion. Since both polys are engraved, you don't need the Patchwork anymore, even though you could argue you could send Golden Lord for free, but I'd rather keep them in hand just in case I need to send something of theirs to the grave. Rebellion effect. Shuffle back the Albaz. Interesting. Shuffle back that. That. To make the Mirror Jade. Now you have a, this is the tough situation here. You do not have a dragon engraved beside your destruction sword, and you really don't want to banish that. So this is where the tough decision comes in. Sometimes when you don't get access to everything that you want. Let's see. What would I do? What would I do? At this point, I would probably have to burn his effect just to get access to a dragon engrave. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to use his effect. Sending Titaniclad to banish himself. Set the prologue. Set the prologue. In phase, Titaniclad effect to add a Albaz from deck to hand. Okay. So now we have a dragon engrave, and we're set up to suck up their entire board. Basically, you activate the prologue. Prologue sends Buster Blader, basically. Destruction Sword in the same chain. Destruction Sword activates, benches itself to fusion summon. Now you need to fuse his materials, that and a dragon of any sorts. Fusion summon. Fusion summon that and that. Special summon that. Then they will try to activate something, chain effect. So if like they activate a branded fusion or something, chain to branded fusion's effect, targeting the thing, and then equip the buster, well, and then the branded fusion will fizzle. And that is basically that after they already burned for 600. So let's say they just probably set a monster. If they normal summon, if they didn't even normal summon, you don't even need to use that next. Use this next turn. Past turn, not the most ideal. What you can do is use Golden Lord to send this. So say they only have one monster, send their face down. Then what you can do is use Golden Lord to send the Bustard Sword to the grave. Special, he has 35. Then normal summon the Fallen of Albaz. And I'm pretty sure this GG's. You can't attack directly with the fusion monster, but it's 35, 25, and then yeah, GG's. So yeah, push through their whole entire board. But that's it for the combo tutorial, guys. I hope you learned something from it, took something from it. If I missed anything, feel free to let me know in the comment section or message me directly through the Discord server. I'll be more than happy to help you all with it. I know this is one of those videos that people were like really asking for, and I wanted to deliver on it, and I hope you all enjoyed it. So please drop a like, please, if you have. But with that being said, guys, I hope you all enjoyed the video. Hope you give this deck a try. This deck is really nasty, and I think it's better than Pure, honestly, because it does everything Pure does, but just more and better. But yeah, guys, I hope you all enjoy it and have an awesome night, morning, evening, whenever you're watching this video. Hope you all are staying safe out there in the age of COVID. And it's your boy, Brandon, a.k.a. Drip. Signing out. Peace. Good dueling, my guys.